Hey guys, welcome to the Hanger Management Podcast. I'm Danielle.
And I'm Jac, and we're psyched you're here because we are talking about waist trainers and sweat belts. Woo! Yeah,
Ooh,
I'm
yeah.
so excited. Okay, so before we dive into the episode, as per usual, just a few housekeeping reminders. Number one, this is not a kid-friendly show. Unfortunately, I cannot break my addiction to swearing. Number
She hasn't
two,
even tried. She hasn't even tried.
nah, I'm probably not going to. Number two, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Hanger Management Pod and our personal IGs, which are below. And reminder that we are working remotely. So if there's any variance in the sound quality, we apologize. But thanks for sticking with us. And huge shout out to Opulence Media Group for getting us set up remotely. So let's do this. I'm actually really excited about this episode.
Me too. Me and Jacqueline have lots of history with these two particular things. So we're really excited to talk about it and also make fun of ourselves for using them.
Straight up. Yeah. Back in the fitness competition day. We over relied on these, I think. But yeah, let's get into this. Okay, let's get into this. So we're talking about the title obviously covers a couple different things here, right? We got both waist trainers and sweat belts. So yeah, I guess Danielle, like let's get into this. What is your understanding of like a waist trainer and a sweat belt?
Okay, so for me, the two differences, to put it very simply, is one would be to enhance your shape. So basically, like a waist trainer is made to change the look and shape while you're wearing it, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
That hourglass figure that everybody is after. That's typically, what the waist trainer would do is, and usually people would wear it under something, right? Like,
Yes.
like the Kardashians kind of
Yeah.
rock those all the time.
That's like the standard, like that's easiest.
I feel like
everyone knows the Kardashians wear waist trainers.
like everybody knows Kim Kardashian always has a freaking like waist trainer on. And it's basically like, like the good old days, the corsets. Like it would shape your
Yes.
body.
So that's what sets waist trainers apart from sweat belts, is that they are more similar to corsets. And like, this is not a new thing. Corsets have been around for hundreds of years. I think like a quick Google search told me they started around like the 13th, 14th century, something like this. Like hundreds of years corsets have been around. The waist trainer is the modern version of a corset. It's the ribbed, it has like the metal ribs going up and down in a waist trainer. And that's what sets it apart from a sweat belt or like a sweat wrap, is like you said, like it creates, that hourglass shape. Whereas the sweat belt, which we've both of us have used both of these things.
I was even using a sweat belt last year, just saying.
Well, I actually haven't used the sweat belt in a while, but like we can get into like, okay, so let's talk about sweat belts.
Okay, so sweat belts.
Like those are even more common than waist trainers. Like waist trainers are a little more intense. I feel like a lot of people have tried a sweat belt or like some sort of sweat enhancing product.
Oh,
so, yeah. Like so let's talk like what's a sweat? What's the sweat?
So like the sweat belt, typically you would wear it like when you're working out, and like, I mean, you can get them for different body parts. Like I think I've seen like thigh ones.
Yeah, thighs.
But the most popular one obviously is the one that wraps around your waist. And it's meant to, increase the temperature of your body, have you sweat more and get rid of this water weight. So it's kind of marketed, I find, as like a fat loss or like, lose the water weight. Situation.
I think that, and this is kind of what the issue is that it's not marketed really as just a water weight thing. It's marketed as a way to like burn fat. And at the end of the day, that's just not what it does. So let's just get that out on the table. Neither of these products burn fat in any way, shape, or form. They do not have that capability nor function whatsoever. What a sweat belt does, like Danielle said, is raises your temperature so that you actually just sweat more. So yeah, it helps you. It can help you, shed water weight, but it's a temporary fix. And actually both of these things are like temporary. They're not they're not creating
permanent
permanent changes or like a style. Yeah, exactly. So
and even with any like sweat product, you know, like that raises your temperature, like this,
there's creams and stuff, you mean, like the creams and stuff that you put on your body that that are supposed to help you sweat more.
Yeah. And like, so how they work is like we said, they increase your body temperature and your body wants to cool off, so you're sweating. That's what's happening, and all it's doing is pulling water from your out of your body, pushing it out. You're gonna slam down some water later today because you're dehydrated, and you're gonna gain it all back, like 100%.
Yeah, 100%. Neither of these things are like permanent solutions or like super like healthy or anything. Like there's essentially all it does is, like Danielle said, raise that body temperature, make you sweat more. And when you sweat more, you're going to like, so like, I just like remember thinking back to like being like a teenager, right? And like, I remember I still like to sweat, not even a teenager. Like I remember when I was in law school, when I first started hot yoga, right? I got addicted to sweating, like straight up. Like I got addicted to like that just like drenched feeling, and I wanted to sweat. And like I'd go and like I'd weigh myself before and then after, like thinking like, oh my God, I lost 3 pounds. I lost 3 pounds. Like, no,
your body back.
You just sweated. But even I like still, like loved it. It gets addictive, right? It's
I know. And it's so funny actually. Like we can sit here and talk till we're blue in the face about how it literally doesn't work. But I'm telling you, if I slap that sweat belt on for my morning fasted cardio and I sweat a bunch of water out, I'm feeling really thin. You feel that good. Day.
So and that's so that's why, and that's like what the attraction is. That's why they're popular. It's that a lot of time, like people like me, like I don't have this kind of addiction anymore, but like people love to feel like that, like good sweat. People want a really good sweat. And these products, at least a sweat belt or like these sweat creams, like you mentioned, they help you achieve that like super sweaty feeling. Now if that, like you said, right? Like, then this is why we used it, right? It's like, it makes you feel good. It makes you feel like you're doing something and adding something. You know, it feels like a boost, like an extra, you know, help or aid. But at the end of the day, does it really work? Like just like straight up facts. Does it actually help you lose weight, burn fat, and keep it off? No.
It's one of those placebos.
It's a placebo. Yeah. It's like, okay, I burn, like I sweat. Like, yeah, I remember I used to do like Instagram stories where I'd like the unwrapping of
the unwrapping and then the water drips down.
Yeah. It's like,
so and I would watch your stories and I'd be like, fuck yes, girl.
like thinking back, like, ew.
Right. And like I just need to like since we're talking about it and we're talking about Jacqueline using the sweat belt, like you guys, like she didn't wash it every time. Like she would I'm dying. She would take a roll of paper every time towel.
If I wore it every day. How could I wash it? I'm not gonna wash it every day.
She would lay it out, she would sprawl it out across the gym floor. Okay, this wet, sweaty belt. And she would take paper towel and she would like smooth it out over, and then she would just do this like wrap, like it was like a little sushi sweat belt. And back in her bag it would go, and then the next day she'd pull it out and disregard.
Oh my God, the bacteria.
I'm having flashbacks my God to that, and I was like, you know what, I need to do that. And I did.
You know what, I need to also sweat like this psychopath.
And we would get together, we'd meet for fasted cardio with our black coffee, and we would literally strap on these sweat belts with the cream that would make it even more intense,
more sweaty.
And we would we'd be in our sweatsuit, and we would just
we'd layer up. That was the best thing. We'd layer up. Like I would put like layers and layers and layers of like clothing on so that I would sweat more and more and more.
And then we would go to the sauna.
Yeah. Like, anyway, this is all to say, all of those things we did, all they were doing is losing water weight. And at the end of the day, that doesn't mean shit for weight loss. doesn't mean shit. It's the same with waist trainers, right? Like waist trainers, you know, the whole concept is it's like a corset. You put it on and it like squeezes everything in and gives you this like hourglass shape. And like,
oh man, like the waist trainers, like, come on. I mean, we both wore them.
So let's just, okay.
I'm going to let you tell this part because I need to hear it from you.
Confession time. I started wearing a waist trainer when I was competing. I can't remember who I saw it from. I can't remember where I saw it, but I saw like a an IFBB pro wearing this like waist trainer that helps essentially keep everything really tight in the core. And if you're a fitness competitor or you know anything about it, you know that bikini athletes have to have a really small waist. The whole goal is to have as small of a waist as possible and as big of an ass as possible.
Yeah. Well, you had no food.
Essentially. But no, so I saw these pros wearing this. So I went out, I bought a waist trainer and I started wearing it. And essentially, so I actually looked back. I went back and looked at my measurements. Yeah, I went back and looked at my measurements to see like what the progression was. Turns out it didn't do anything.
Plot twist, it doesn't fucking work.
Turns out actually my waist hasn't really changed.
Turns out that it does not change the shape of your body.
Well, here's the thing. I don't know if it worked temporarily for the time, you know, making my waist smaller for like during competition. But I looked at all my numbers because if you know me, you know, I've kind of tracked everything for the last 8 years of my life. I can look back at my notes and everything and see like what I was doing at any given time over the last 8 years and know what I was eating, training, how I was training, what I was doing. And I looked back at my measurements and, there's no difference between when I started and now. There's a lot.
I love that.
So why did I torture myself, right? Because let's be honest, we all know at best, waist trainers are uncomfortable. Like no one's wearing. I've heard girls claim they're like, no, it helps me like.
No,
it makes me feel good. It makes me feel like secure and tight. And I think I actually said that to you.
And I remember putting this thing on and literally, do you want to know what I did when I wore it? I laid horizontal on the couch and hated my fucking life. I was like,
a picture. She sent me a selfie the first night.
I wish I could find that.
And she's like laying down. She's got
I'm like okay, I can't breathe.
She's got this double chin. Like she's like so upset that she's wearing this fucking waist trainer.
I remember buying a medium and it was really tight. I was like, what the fuck?
No,
I'm like 120 pounds.
No. Yeah, no. So
I think she even told me to wear it to work. And so I did.
I told you, yeah. So the whole concept, if you go to one of these websites or you buy one of these products, they say, oh, you have to wear it for like anywhere from 7 to 10 hours at the beginning. And then they say to maintain, you have to wear it minimally for 2 hours a day. So that's like, if you go just look at I'm not naming a specific brand, just whatever, like waist trainers, most of them will say that you have to, at the beginning, in order to like create the shape you want, you have to wear it for like 7 to 10 hours a day. And then after that, maintenance is like 2 hours to 2 to 3 hours or something like this. Like, think about that. 10 hours a day wearing this thing that's like constricting your lungs and your stomach and everything in there, like just squeezing things,
literally, and like reducing blood flow to your organs in that area, like 100%,
which is all your organs, like
which is
like all the important
your stomach, your liver, your kidneys,
like all, like
just to name a few,
just is all being like squished together into this little like tube, like a fucking sausage. And like I said, at best, this thing is uncomfortable. At worst though, you're like, let's talk about like what the actual negative consequences of, first of all, waist trainers, because I think to me, those are the most obvious, you know, they're a lot, like they're kind of fucked up, guys. Like, come on, they're fucked up. First, like they're purely aesthetic. They're purely aesthetic, right? Like there's no performance or like benefit to wearing a waist trainer. Like there's,
and at this day and age, like, you know, body positivity is such a huge topic and everyone just be proud and whatever. And then you throw this waist trainer on, which is like whatever, but it's totally changing your shape so that you look a different way. So I find it feeds into that mental piece of thinking that you need to look a certain way, right? Because
well,
then
that's all
why
it is.
else
It's
would you put it
aesthetic.
on?
Yeah, well, that's all it is. It's purely aesthetic. The only
Yeah.
reason someone would wear a waist trainer is for aesthetics. I used to like back in the day too, like you'd hear girls be like, oh no, like it helps me like activate my core. Nope, it's actually the opposite.
Wait, do you have a core anymore after you wore a waist trainer for a week?
So it's like the same as wearing a brace, right? Like if you wear a brace around, you know, like your knee or something, like it's not strengthening the knee to function on its own. It's just adding support. So if you're constantly wearing this waist trainer, like you're weakening your core. You're weakening your core.
You know, and for someone like you, like, you know, you're so athletic, personal trainer, you know, yoga, all that stuff. For someone like you, maybe it wouldn't weaken your core because you do core training. But a lot of these people who go down this route, they know nothing about core training, right?
Yeah. When you say core training, you mean know how to activate my core, because we don't do core specific exercises.
Activating the core all day. Sorry. Okay.
Activating the core. But you're right. Like, because I do know how to activate my core, and like, you know, I mean, a lot of people know how to activate their core, but the point is like, if you're right. A lot of people don't, right? And
I didn't.
If someone's new to exercising, or even not new, if someone's new to wearing, like someone sees, oh, like so-and-so's wearing a sweat belt, and that's a big part of this thing, once again, is the influencers pushing it, right? Because like we said, like Kim K, everyone knows that's like when you have people like the Kardashians pushing, you know, this thing, saying like, oh yeah, this is what I do and this is how I maintain my shape. Like, nah, bitch. No, like that's millions of dollars worth of surgery and work. Like
other things going on there. But anyways.
Yeah. So like,
I agree.
That's a big issue, and that's a big part of this. So I think that's like I think that's the main issue. I think we take with all, like, just like ACV, like just like a lot of these, you know, a lot of these fads, they're promoted and touted as these like kind of like quick fix. Yeah,
just
no, it's
wear this and
wear this, you know, and you don't have to do anything
more else. And yeah, so it's like we're always saying the same thing. You can't just do the one thing, you know, like the sweat belt. If you're gonna wear a sweat belt while you exercise, but then you like eat
well, not even all day, necessarily bad foods, but like not like, because you know, we're all about kind of like freedom and variety, but balance, right? Like if you don't have your other ducks in a row, like, and you're adding this like extra thing to try to sweat more, well, you know, it's not, there's again, it's trying to put out a forest fire with a squirt gun. It's not going to work. You got to have your ducks in a row. And like we said, so at best, it's uncomfortable. The waist trainers are uncomfortable. At worst, you're weakening your core. You're compressing your organs. You're making it harder to breathe and digest food. Yes, if you keep that on while you're trying to digest food, like it's compressing all your organs. So
it's affecting digestion and everything like that.
And like Danielle said, which is always kind of our, you know, we always come back to this, like the sole function of it is aesthetics. And if you're only focusing on aesthetics when it comes to, you know, your health and wellness and your fitness, you're gonna have a hard old go. You're gonna have a hard old go if you're only focused on looking a certain way and not trying to feel better or, you know, improve your internal health or your longevity or your strength, all this stuff. So and then for the sweat belts, let's go like the sweat belts, like sure, like wear it. Like there's not a whole lot of negative side effects. I mean, I guess you can over sweat and get dehydrated. There's not a whole lot of negative side effects, but also, again, like we just said,
doesn't work.
Not a whole lot of benefits either.
Yeah. But it's so funny because like I would do it again. Like if I was doing like a shoot or something, it would mentally make me feel.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
right? I wouldn't do it like just today and age. But if I was doing like a photo shoot or I was competing, I probably would, because you're crazy damn out of your mind anyways when you're competing and like, right? I mean, that's a whole other episode, but right? So I'll probably do this. So I would never do the waist trainer though, ever again, for
I think
sure,
it's
100%.
just so uncomfortable, right? Like it's like you gotta balance,
and like for nothing.
Is it worth it? Like, is it worth it? No, like it's not really, right? Like you can achieve, again, it's like kind of the same thing what I said about like apple cider vinegar or any of these other things, like the benefits that they do claim they like these products could potentially have. I can achieve those benefits or get those benefits elsewhere from doing other things like core work, nutrition, training and stuff like that. So, I know.
Okay,
I
even think there's a
apologize.
benefit.
So this is my official apology for recommending a fucking waist trainer to you. Guys, I fucked up. Okay? I fucked up. And this is me admitting fault. You can admit fault, learn you were doing something maybe not ideal, and you can move on and admit that, and nothing goes on. Yeah, life goes on. And
life goes on better if you just admit it, actually.
It's actually gotten so much better. So much better admitting it.
It's like a weight lifted.
Yeah, I do. You know what? Oh my goodness. I do feel like a huge weight has been lifted off of my chest. Yeah, guys.
It's okay.
I recommended this. Do you accept my apology?
Oh, I totally do. I didn't even wear it as much as you suggested me to wear, because I literally couldn't breathe. I was like, I just don't think I can do this.
Yeah. No, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
No, I accept your apology, and I just love that you're
willing to admit fault. Willing to admit. Yeah, I know. Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. So guys, I did give some bad advice to Danielle about waist trainers. I told her to wear a waist trainer because I was wearing a waist trainer. And looking back, now that I've done it, I've tried it. I actually measured everything and can say without a doubt that indeed it does not work.
He's the reason that I got second place and not first place.
He should have came first. It was a fucking sweat belt and waist trainers. It was a fucking waist trainer. Anyway, yeah, no. So I think we covered the main points here. Again, it's another quick fix. It's one of those things that's just from our experience and from our research is not worth the potential temporary benefits or results. So or if you like to sweat and it's something that kind of sets you up for success, then sure, go for
don't do waist trainers.
Don't do waist trainers. But even the sweat belts too, there's so many more. There's so many other things that you can do before you look to that. So I guess
be in a calorie deficit. Just start there. Just start there and
with a calorie deficit. Start with a calorie deficit. Start with eating well. Start with moving your body, and then maybe look into other things. But that's the number one. So yes,
love that so much. So in conclusion, everything we said above, it is what it is.
In conclusion, it is what it is. In conclusion, so take it or leave it.
It or leave it.
Other general remarks about nothing.
And to just, it's like when you wrote the essay and you needed to hit so many words and you just.
In conclusion.
So in conclusion, I'm concluding that, said above.
And
just as a example, don't wear them. Thank you so much for joining. Shout out once again to Opulence Media Group for getting us set up, getting this going, and tune in next week where we are going to take a closer look at fasting. Ooh.
Yeah, big topic right now. We're super popular, fasting. But funny enough, not new. Fasting's been around for thousands of years. So we will talk all things fasting next week. Thanks so much for joining, guys. And thanks again, Opulence Media Group, for getting us set up. See you next week.
Goodbye.
Bye.